Hello, I want to talk to you today about the 3D Connexion Space Mouse. This is Space Mouse Pro Wireless, and it's the Bluetooth model. The earlier model had just its own 2.4 gigahertz module. We'll get into that. It's pretty nice. Comes in this case. I know a lot of people do the whole box thing, but whatever. That's been okay. It's a pretty sturdy case, but after using it for a little bit, it's got like one little scratch on it, but definitely better to scratch the case than to damage the mouse. The zipper is pretty good. It opens up in the case like that. And this gives you your 6 degrees of freedom, which is up and down, this way and this way. It works pretty well. Why get this Bluetooth wireless? I think the main reason is it's wireless. Certainly I would have purchased the enterprise model, but the problem with the enterprise model is that it's corded with USB-A, and I don't really use USB-A much anymore. This one does come with a charging port that is USB-C. And the other thing that's kind of nice, and I think nobody really talks about, but if you do use this this regular receiver for the wireless functionality, it comes in the package sort of separately, but there's a little hole here to just, I guess that's upside down, right? There's a little hole here to just snap that in, and it's always there. So when you travel, it's not flopping around in the case, and it's doing pretty well. I think this has been pretty great. We'll get into the software later, but the shift is pretty convenient. That's been excellent. Escape gets used pretty often for me. I didn't think that these hotkeys over here for the orientation were going to be useful, but they actually are. Fit is definitely handy, especially when you're starting out. You'll, between the speed and getting your settings right for the navigation, you can end up losing your object or getting in a place in your work where you're not quite sure. And if you just need to fit something back in the 3D space, this is great for it. The menu, this configured. I was really impressed that no matter what software I open, like, you can go into the settings app via menu, and you can set unique configurations for each application that way. I thought it was going to be a more difficult process, and we'll go through that later, but this is actually a pretty easy process to go through and configure the orientation of what the main knob here does and what the other buttons do. So that was definitely pretty good. It is weighty, but it's not too heavy. I think it's somewhere around 450 grams, something like that. It definitely feels good in the hand, and it's been working out pretty well. It was plugged in for close to an hour, and it seemed like it was still charging. I'm not sure. The light just blinks green. I'm assuming at some point it'll stop blinking or do something besides blink if it's fully charged. But I didn't see anything in the manual about that immediately. So that's been the first impressions, and then we'll get into some of the settings with the software, and we'll go through that. But definitely, I think 3D Connexion, if you could just USB-C, right? Just make that, right? Even corded in USB-C, I probably would have purchased the Enterprise, but corded with USB-A is not something I don't want to go back to USB-A technology. All right, just taking a look at some functionality. This is Quicksurface, if anybody uses that, but I think I have some custom settings, but I would say that tilting left to right is it's pretty easy to manage when you get used to it. You can just kind of rotate in space left to right, and then rotating axially, I'll call it, I guess. this way is also pretty easy. I have it set up push in is zoom and pull out is zoom out. Push in is zoom in. But you can configure all of these things in the software, and we'll take a look at that. I think the most difficult one to get used to is the front to back tilt, just because the way the human hand works, right? We don't have a ton of dexterity at this level with your hands on a rest. So that one's a little more difficult to control. It has a tendency to actually sort of move up and down or left and right when you do that. So this is pretty good. As far as the fit buttons go, you can hit the front, the rear, or the top. And this is one of the example files that comes with Quicksurface, and this was a quick little job of setting this up. If you haven't used it, things come out pretty accurate. This one's measuring at 0.03 of a millimeter, and it comes out pretty good. But you still get, if you want to see like down in a hole or something, it's pretty easy. If you have to do this with a mouse, and say you want to zoom in and and see something, it's see, and I had to get it out of. So if you just get a little out of whack, even if you get two in there, just hit fit. It'll bring you back to where you're at. From the menu, using the menu button here, hit menu, and it brings up the menu. This says mesh to surface, even though this is a full version of Quicksurface, so maybe there's something to work out there. But the you can set your custom speed, and then these settings right here for pan, zoom, rotation. These can all be customized, whether they're active or not, if you want to reverse them or not. I think this is custom speed. That wasn't super clear. Or custom sensitivity on each setting. And if we can go back, and then buttons can be configured. Number 1 here is like a virtual number pad. Takes a good firm push. Hit it again, it goes away. You can configure these how you want. Menu button, obviously I wouldn't have it any other way than what it is, but you can configure that to do whatever you want. The lock rotation can be just about anything you want. Your macros, anything you want there. These keys, even though it says escape, you can configure it to whatever you want. So I think that this is pretty useful when you just close that. You can close this, or you can hit menu again and it goes away. And that's how the menus work. And I think that if you're looking for a good way to move around in 3D space, then this is a good one. I'm still getting used to it myself, but it's definitely something that I want to get used to. And even being just limited in my experience with it, it's been a lot better than trying to move something with the like. This is just lots of clicks with the mouse to move something around. Like, you run out of scroll room. If you really want to like spin something around, it's just a lot of clicks. If you want to do something like zoom and turn, it's really clunky with the mouse. And the mouse I'm using is the MX Keys Logitech, and it's a good mouse. So go ahead, take a look at this 3D Connexion Space Mouse Pro wireless. The other nice thing about this model with the Bluetooth is it's pretty easy to move it to a Mac. I have a Mac as well, and using software over there on the Mac, it's pretty good, and we may take a look at that later.